Hello, hello. Happy Friday. Have I drawn a binturong? I have heard of a binturong. I think, are those the guys that smell like popcorn? Or did I misremember that? I didn't draw a binturong. I did draw this Kakomissal. I think that's how you say it. Somebody requested this creature I had never heard of. I think it turned out cute, but that was a new animal to me. So I drew that guy. I drew a hedgehog, caterpillar cakes, penguins, all manner of beasts and cartoons and dinosaurs and bats. I do not think I have ever drawn a binturong, but I could be wrong about that. Am I misremembering that? Is that the guy who, the guy? Is that the animal that smells like popcorn? Or am I misremembering? You requested the Kakomissal. Yeah, you're the obscure animal expert of the chat, are you not? I've never heard of that before. Alright, and I'm gonna finish up this FNAF security bot. I believe the fan name is Pat Pat, but I may also be remembering that wrong. What was I doing last week? What did I want to continue with? Let me get that nice chalk brush out that I'm addicted to using now. And we're gonna do like darker metallic on the side here. Maybe even a little darker and a little more gray. Warm up the shadow a little bit with this. And my face looks crazy. I hate when the background's light because it's like scary camp stories lighting up my face from underneath, but that's alright. It'll do. I like this lighter background. I was fiddling with it before the stream because it was too creamy of a color and it was kind of blending into the yellow. Though really, I should do like a blue or a purple to contrast the yellow. Let me try that right now. Maybe a dark gray. Oh, I kind of like that. Actually, maybe more blue. Let's do that because then I can do a glow on the eyes. I think that would be the move. And I think I want to make the eyes smaller, because as cute as they are, they're a little much. And I want to redo the glow I did, because I'm not really happy with it. So let me shrink down the eyes just a smidge and move them a little bit further apart. Whoops. Grab them, shrink them, not like that, with the uniform. Shrink. Move it like here. Move this one over a bit. I think I'll finish this one up very quickly and then go back to the hedgehog. I would like to add the little sugar packet on the table and a spoon just to finish that one off. And then sketch something new. I like these animal ideas. Civet, I think that's how you say that. What is a gannet? Gannet? Let me Google this creature right now. Gannet. A small, slender cat-like carnivore. Images. He's cute! I like him. How do you just have on deck, like, lists of, like, 20 animals that I've never heard of in my life that are, like, the cutest thing I've ever seen? That's adorable. I like the rusty spotted one. So cute. Okay, okay. Alright, I'll determine what of those animals I want to draw the most, but I'm really liking that guy, and I'd like to do some spots with this chalk brush. I think that'll look really cool. Alright, we'll put a pin in that. But for now, let's finish up this bot, because he's pretty close. I just want to, you know, do the sign, the text on the sign, which is the little annoying bit, and then the Freddy on the sign. Love watching you work. You're so talented. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Let's do a glow on the eyes. Okay, let me think. What do I need to do? Glow on the eyes, the little Freddy on the sign. That's going to be the irritating bit because it's like so detailed. And then do the text. And then any polishing, like a noise layer, color filter, things of that nature. I think that'll do. Is this on a new layer? Perfect. Let's do a brighter, more saturated yellow. And do like kind of a halo. Let's see if I like how this looks with the texture. Maybe I'll just do a regular glow, but I kind of want texture. Since we're doing so much texture on this piece, I think it'll look a little weird if it's smooth and everything else has a chalk texture and is uneven. I just spotted something else that's irritating me on the top of the head I'm gonna go fix before I forget. Let's do a bit of that texture here. And then change this to something that looks more glowing. Let's do like... Ooh, that's kind of good. The add. Ooh, I kind of like that with the little chunks in the eye. Maybe I'll reduce the amount of chunks a little bit like this. I think that's good. Hello, how are we doing? This fantastic Friday evening. I like that. I think from a distance it's good, and I think with the noise layer on top, it's all gonna blend in really well. I think that looks good. Okay, see, this little bit is irritating me, so let me go fix that really quick. Just this. That's it. It was just like too smooth and cut off there. It looked a little odd. Fix this a bit. Because I like uneven and janky, but it's like too much, you know? There's a tasteful amount of it. There's a balance to be struck. There we go. I think that looks good. I want to erase stuff that's floating outside. Like these, whoa. Let's not do that. This stuff that's outside, and I want to... Ooh, the blue needs to be lightened up on here as well because it's blending into the background. Not great. Okay. Carve that away. Just doing a little cleanup work on old wet floor bot here. There's not too much more work to be done, it's just the detail work, really. Okay, I kind of like the mess up here on top. I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's shave off the sides a smidge. Okay, I think that looks alright. Zoomed out looks good. Maybe darker? Ooh, I like that even better. Like almost black, but not quite. That really makes the glow pop. And it fixes some of the problem with that blue on the side, though I am gonna have to fiddle with it a bit. Because it's still kind of getting lost. So let's lighten and brighten it up a bit. Maybe just have the same shine. I think I'm going to simplify the metallic and just do shines like this. I think. Let me see how that looks. Yeah, I kind of prefer that than try it, because I feel like... My thing is I feel like it'll be over-rendered if I try to make it look shiny in the way that the reference does. I think it'll just look overworked in this style, so I think visually conveying that it's reflective and metal, even if it's not like how the light would actually work, I think that's okay as shorthand for it being shiny. I think that's enough. And let's follow the shininess. It's like here. We'll get rid of it on the middle because the middle is not shiny. We'll come back and fix that. Do like that. Do like this. This. And I want to do one up here, like here. And then brighter in the middle, like so. And I kind of like the mess, but I want to clean it up just a little bit. Let's undo the alpha lock. And tidy up this mess just a bit. I like some of the yellow peeking through though. And on the edges. I do like that. Just a little messy. Now it looks a little bit more intentional. Alright. Alpha lock that again. And fix this middle part, which should not be reflective. It's printed on the sign. I'll make that even a little bit darker because it is supposed to be black, so it can read as black while just being very dark blue. It'll make the sides look a little bit more metallic and silver by comparison anyway. There, I think that's good. I like the texture of that up here in this corner, actually. I think that looks nice. Alright, and then let's sort out... We don't need a clipping mask for that. Let's just put it on top. We're going to lightly sketch in that Rockstar Freddy. I have the ref on my end. I'm going to zoom way in. Or Glamrock Freddy. Excuse me, I'm not versed on FNAF lore. It was just a request, so... Thank you for the hearts, whoever's spamming the hearts. I appreciate it. Alright, let me sketch his head. I'm going to really simplify it because it just looks like a tuft of like a mohawk on top, bear ears. Thank you for the hearts. His torso. Shoulders. The arm is a little odd looking, even zoomed in, but it's kind of like chunky paw. Like this. Like a hand. Okay, 3 big toes. And him slipping. With the other big foot here. Move it in a little bit. Tilt it back a little bit more. Like so. A nice shadow here. Okay, I think that makes it look like he's slipping, and it looks kind of like what's on the sign. This arm on the sign looks a little odd, but I'm doing my best. It looks like it needs to be bigger to match the other arm. I think that looks a little bit better. And then similarly, this arm needs to be shortened a little bit here. I think that works. And we'll keep it nice and simple. We'll use a lot of straight lines and clean it up and blah, blah, blah. All right, I think that's a good skeleton for that. Let's clean it up with the chalk brush. Well, with a messy brush, but it'll look clean. It'll match the style of everything else. And that's what counts. Nice point. Ears, head. Zoomed out, it'll look good, I promise. It's not super detailed even on the official art, so I don't feel bad about it being super simplified. I think the neck should be thicker. And the fur on the cheeks or whatever should be a bit wider. Nice shoulder pads. Should the head be a bit bigger? Let me see. It's like... maybe. We'll make the head just a smidge larger. Like that. Is that gonna mess up? Yeah, it's gonna blur it a little. It's okay. Just touch up the edges. They gotta fix the transform tool on Procreate. It's so bad. And I know you can change it to like bicubic, bilinear, or whatever, but they all make it kind of messy and bad. Hello, how are we doing? How is your Friday going? My weekend's off to a good start. I'm in a great mood. I know I'm not grinning at your ear, and I'm just like, I'm in a great mood with like a dead face, but I promise I'm in a good mood. Though I will be working through most of the weekend on client projects, but that's okay. That's fine. Might pop into my local thrift store and pick up some more cheap books that I can use for ripping up for paper collage and paint and things like that. So that'll be my chill Saturday. Maybe even find time to do a bit more painting because I keep putting it off and doing client work and stuff. Maybe I'll find time to paint. We'll see. But a pretty chill weekend on deck for myself. Wait, is this set to chalk? Okay, good. Clean it up. You're attempting to fix your hair, going back to half and half hair color remover made it orange, using that color theory and trying to cancel it out. Good luck. You gotta use blue to cancel that orange. Opposite of the color wheel, baby. It'll look cute when it's all fixed up. I have no doubt. It'll look cute. Thanks. You're welcome. I just stick to the same old hair dye for a reason. Easy peasy. Yeah, let that blue cook. Completely kill that orange. And if you end up with slate blue tint, that's cool too. You go in half and half black and white again. That might actually look nice if it's like a little bit like blue black. I think blue black looks darker than brown black. It reads as a darker blue to me. Or a darker black, excuse me. Almost like cartoon character black hair, you know? With the blue highlight. I've seen people do that before where they put like, you know, maybe their hair will be... Here, I'll do in a new layer just for fun. I don't know why I'm taking time out to draw this, but say there's like black hair. They dye it box black, and then they'll get like a blue highlight, but they'll like intentionally paint it on as if it's like a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how what's her name from the Olympics does like the sunny stripes that looks like suns hitting her hair, bleaching her hair? I think that's cool. It makes the hair look more black, I think. Half blonde, half black. The blue shampoo always washes out over time, not worried too much about it. Yeah, it won't leave you actually blue like that. What did I mess up here? What happened? What happened? It's on this layer? No, I just messed this up. I don't know how. It's an easy fix, but how did I do that? Just carelessly painting. There you go. Yeah, with the blue highlight. It looks very like Sailor Moon to me. With it like that. Alyssa Leo. I was thinking with the stripes of like sunny hair. I think that is cute. I saw a girl on TikTok do that forever ago, and I thought it was like the most innovative thing where she just had like a stripe where it looked like sun was peeking through the blinds and hitting her hair, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I like that one I showed you a while ago too, where it's like her hair is brown on top but blonde underneath, so she can just do a heavy side part and it looks blonde, or flip this way and it looks brown or whatever. I thought that was kind of neat too. I'm not inventive enough for that or good enough with dye, so I just stick with solid red. Raven from Teen Titans, yeah, that's a good look too. Clean up this blue around here. Why are there... Okay, let me just clean it up with yellow. There's too many stray spots in the yellow here. Alright, I think that works. We can get rid of the sketch layer. Let's do this text and then some finishing touches. And I think this guy's done, and I'll do finishing touches on the hedgehog, and then we'll move on to something else. Yeah, the girl from Danny Phantom. I forget her name, too. That was more your show than mine. Let me zoom out. Just as caution, wet floor. Okay, let me sketch with white placement. So I want a hand-drawn lettering look, but I don't want it to be so messy that it looks like kindergarten, you know? Know what I'm saying? So we'll roughly block in where the letters go and then trace it and make it a little bit cleaner on top. Want them all roughly the same width, so it looks like a nice clean font. But it's okay if it's a little wobbly because everything else is too. And I'll square off those edges too when I do the final letters. Caution. Like that. Can't spell caution without on. No, you cannot. I'm trying to think of the most creative hair I would do if I like had the patience for it. I don't know, I think I like the look when the red starts to fade a little bit and the roots get a little dark. So maybe I would do something like that on purpose where it's like a darker red and then at the tips it gets to like a strawberry blonde, like a gradient. I don't know what the girlies call that, but like an ombre, but with from like deep brown copper red to strawberry blonde at the end. I think that would be kind of cute. But I just do not have the patience in me for it. And then wet floor we'll do down here. And it'll be a bit thinner than the caution letters. Not as bold. Wet floor. I've tried to think of like what unnatural color would I do. I'm not so much into on me unnatural colors because I like to have like this earth tone palette and stuff that all matches. But if I were to do any unnatural color, I think I'd do like Sea Witch green. It's like a deep bluish green. I think that would suit the green eyes, and then I wear like deep greens and earth tones. And I always like that color on my nails when I get like a deep green that's just a little bit blue. I think that's pretty. I've seen it called Sea Witch green, which I thought was a cool name for it. Seen the wet floor stands that look like a banana? I have, they're really cute. If I ran a business, those are the wet floor signs I would get for my business. They're very cute. Okay, we'll do a new layer to do slightly cleaner letters, just a little bit more polished. I think I'll use straight lines and then I'll square off the ends. Let's just make the brush a little bit smaller for these letters. Not that small. It's like here. Sorry if I'm silent. I'm locking in on the wet floor letters. Let me see if that looks too thin or too thick. No, I think that'll be fine. That's fine. Let me just scooch this over a little bit, like so. Wet floor. I don't even need to square off the ends, really. I think they look okay as is. Maybe on the F. Whoa, too big of a brush. That's better. Do like that, and then we'll just copy and paste the same O. It's not cheating if you are just making things easier on yourself with your own art. I think the last time I've seen them in a couple places, the banana wet floor signs. I really liked them at this like ice cream place I went to. I thought that was very apt. It was like banana split wet floor signs. It was very cartoony. I appreciated that touch for detail. Okay, that works for that. And then we'll do the caution letters a little bit thicker. I think that's perfect size actually. Okay. I might square the ends of these off. The green, yeah, the deep green blue. Yeah, I think that would be cute. Maybe I'll get it as a wig or something. Be fun to try out for a Halloween stream or something. Just be a sea witch. Do some funky makeup and a cool wig. Okay, delete that. Beautiful. Let's just clean up and tidy up these letters a smidge. Like so. Okay, I think that looks good. And now to change the colors of the letters so they're actually correct, we'll do the dark blue first for wet floor, and then the yellow for caution. Beautiful! Alright, I think he's looking good. I think I'm just gonna do like my noise layer and just call it a day. That's the only color where you don't have like a deep sea green. I think that would look cute on you too, because you do like silver jewelry. I think silver jewelry would slay with that more than gold. You could do, I guess with gold and green, you'd have to really lean into it being like a treasure chest of like pirate chains and I don't know. I think that would be cool for a sea witch look too. Let's do noise like here. Overlay. I kind of want the background to be a little bit darker. I don't want it to be pitch black, but I don't want it to be gray either, so maybe more blue and dark. Okay, I think that's good. I think I'm happy with that. Let me put a little signature on his little body here. Oops, I'll use this blue. Let's go in and sign it. Or I'll use the dark blue. Beautiful. Look at him. Isn't he gorgeous? Isn't he lovely? Beautiful. I'll crop it later so it's not empty space. Ooh, I had an idea though. No, never mind. We'll leave him. look at him next to his little ruff. They're friends. They hang out together. Alright, and then we're gonna finish off this little hedgehog. There was something else I noticed when I made him the thumbnail. The window and the spikes are like blending in here visually. They look kind of like they're merging together, so I gotta fix that somehow. Okay, I think I found the problem. Let me erase... Let me mask, rather. I want these spikes to be clearly not the windowsill. So I'm gonna have to define them a little bit better. I think even just doing this is helping a lot. Yeah, that's already helped quite a bit, to be honest. This one here. Okay. And then I want to make the window darker right behind the spikes, because like right here, this is all visually like the same. So we're going to clean up right... No, we're going to leave the gray there. I think that's fine there. But I want that to be super dark brown right behind there. Where is it? Where is it? Alright. Dark. Even darker. That. Okay, the spikes are easier to read now, I think. It's better. And then I want to do, on top of all this... I already have the rough sketch of the sugar packet, but let me Google sugar packet. You think you know what things look like until you Google them, and then you realize you really don't. Okay, a torn sugar packet, not a shorn sugar packet. A torn sugar packet. About this shape. I don't want to put writing on it because I think that's a little bit too much detail. I don't think it's needed. I do want to distort it so it's at a bit more of an angle, sort of. Like that. And then the little torn bit over here. And then the sugar we'll do on another layer. Then the spoon, I just want to clean up. Is that a big enough spoon for that? For stirring coffee? I'm trying to imagine. You think you know what things look like. This is a very tiny hedgehog, by the way, but maybe it's a baby. I don't know. We're not going to put that much thought into it. A teaspoon would be much smaller, so I guess that's okay. Look at this. This spoon. It's about the height of the cup. Yeah, that works. Forget about it. That works. I'm overthinking again. Let's just finish a cute to look at image and not worry too much about the logic of it this time. This is just for funsies anyway. This wasn't even anybody's request, this just happened. And I just want to finish it now that it's so close to the finish line. I don't think it matters if it's perfect, just that it's done and it's cute. I think that works. Get rid of that. Getting in the zone, the auto zone. I feel like it needs to be, it's like too curvy. I think it needs to be like straight. And then like you get a bend in it from 2 or 3 straight lines. A little bit messier, you know? Add a little more funky flair to the shapes. That's a little bit better. Zoomed out it looks normal. Zoomed in it's like a little choppy, which I like. And a little bit messy. I think that works. I do want to like distort the head of the spoon though a little bit to be like, not like that, but yeah, that's a bit better. Something like that. I think that's okay. Not crazy about that. Okay. Overworking, overthinking. Alpha lock. Let's get a cooler gray tone that reads as silver without being cold, because I don't want it to be the focal point. I don't want it to take away from the hedgehog or the cool tones in the windows or anything like that. The window. Ooh, I kind of like a simple shadow like that. Does that make sense? No. You think you know what things look like, and suddenly you're Googling spoon to remember how... How can I simplify it, really, is what I'm thinking. Because you could make it super shiny. You know, I'll just follow my gut. I think I liked that, that big swoop of a shadow. Make it like that. Not like that. Bigger. There. We'll just do that, and then shadow on the underside like that. And to make it shiny, it'll be like lighter at the end. Like that. Ooh, I kind of like that because it's funky and like swirly and matches the cup a bit. Okay, I can get into that. It's very simple, but we're just going to leave it. And then the sugar packet, will take the white or the cream from the cup and use that. Maybe put like a red stripe across it as like the label of it. I don't want it to blend into the table though. Let's use the red from the plate so it's brighter than the table. Like that. And then also clean up the edge. And then I want a little bit of a border. And this shows the tear a little bit. I think that works. Keep it very simple. And then we'll do chunks of, or dusting of sugar all over the table. I think the chalk brush might work for that. Let's see. No, that's too close together. We have to find like a speckle. Brush is grain. Large speckles. They're not really sugar. Light grain, medium grain, heavy grain. Sprinkles? No, that's too minimal. But I do like that. Let's do small speckles. Ooh, I kind of like that. Just like a mess of sugar. Then just erase some of the excess. Like that. I just want a little bit of sugar on the table. It's not going to be a whole mess. So we're going to erase the stuff that's on the plate. There's just some dusted on the table, as happens. You get rid of the stuff that doesn't look like sugar. The long bars here that are mixed in. Just keep some of the flecks that look like sugar. Though they would all be uniform in real life, but I think that reads as spilled sugar on the table. And it adds a little bit of something going on the table, which I like. I think that looks pretty cute. I do want to make the hedgehog's eyes darker because I feel like there's not enough contrast on that, and his face should be like a focal point. So we're going to darken that up a bit. Is this not dark enough? Ooh, what's on top that's like... Is it this? Yeah, a little bit. Get rid of anything else on top. Is there anything else on top? Nope. Actually, we're gonna bring the face layer to the tippy top. If it'll let us. Up, 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 up. Okay. That's fine. Oh, it's because I'm using the speckle brush. I was like, why is it not coloring it darker? Duh. Alright, we don't want it pitch black, but we want it very dark so that it's like more contrasting than other parts of the image, so your eye is drawn to it. That's better, though I'd maybe want to lighten up his nose, the top of it, just a smidge. Like a highlight. I think that's good. Alright, I like it, I love it. Let's do a noise layer on top. Just to tie it all together. Just like there. And for funsies, let's try an adjustment layer of color. Let's do toolbox. Let's just bring in, okay, there's light here. There's this blue light over here. Bring that in over here. And maybe some warm red as like a shadow or something. Darker. No, I like the red. Let's just do the red down here. And let's just play with that and see what happens. Ooh, I kind of like it on add. Just a little bit though. Like this much. And then reduce the noise a little bit. It's subtle, but I like that. Though it does take away from that like cafe darkness a little bit. Let's try something else. Let's just keep going. We'll come back to that. Overlay. Ooh. That kind of intensifies the colors without brightening it. I like that. I'm happy with that. Alright, I think he looks cute. Hello, better late than never indeed. All good. I haven't done too much this stream anyway, so it's all good. I think I'll add my signature on the plate. I think this one. I want it to look more spirally, like that. And warp. Like so. Gorgeous. And there's our little friend, and oh, we can take, sorry, I just noticed on OBS we have this guy on the screen. We can get rid of him. Goodbye. There we go. Let's full screen our friend in the mug here. I think he looks pretty cute. What do we think? You look cozy and comfy? Bean said adorable and silly. Well, she's the only art critic slash reviewer whose opinion I care about, so. I'm gonna Google while I have him on screen and I take a drink of water here. I have a Genet. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Genet, Gene. I also have a Binturong. I'm searching. Ooh, I do like the Binturong. Oh, I like the picture of him sleeping on the branch. Oh, he's so cute. I love him. Okay, I think I want to draw him. Binturong. Let me save this one. And then let me get a full body so I can see the tail and all that when I'm working with. Oh, he's so cute. They just flop asleep on a tree like that? Because there's multiple pictures of them sleeping like that. That's so cute. Okay. I need... Oh, I like this one because it's like a diagram a little bit. No, it's too dark. Okay, sorry. Let me get... I'll go back. One more time. Come on, Google. Been too wrong. There's a lot of pictures that would work as a reference, but I want like a really clear full body. Oh, there's lots of very cute pictures of these guys. I just want a full body with the tail. Okay, I think that works. Okay, let me screenshot and try to bring these in without freezing streaming. Oh, did I close the one I wanted? Or did I save it? Please tell me I saved it. No. Okay, yeah, I did. Phew! Alright. Let me move this stuff off my desktop. I have so many random things on there. Okay. Close. And then what Floorbot we can get rid of. Okay. Now, let us add. Okay, so far it's letting me add images. Beautiful. Sometimes it just doesn't want me to, which is very annoying. Alright, here's the full body. To give us an idea of the scale of him and the size of his tail and whatnot. And then here's the really cute picture of him sleeping that I really like, that I'd like to draw. Look at how cute and comfy he looks. He's just a sleepy baby. I love that. Okay, we're gonna bring this up here. Let me see, can I arrange this? Order, move up. There we go. Beautiful. We'll stick them in the corner over here. That's our reference. And let's do 8.5 by 11 canvas. And let's make it like a nice sagey, dusty green to start. Let's just start here and sketch and see what happens. I kind of like how the photo's cropped where it's like that, but let me just try sketching it fully relaxing on a branch because I like that image. Let me pull up the reference full size on my end so I get a closer look. It's been too wrong. And it seems like the bigger, fluffier guy is like the one who's sleeping on the branch. Oh, he's so cute. It seems like his tail is proportionately extra fluffy as well. So I think I'm going to fluff up the tail versus the other reference where it's a little bit skinnier looking, relatively. Okay. Oh, look at how sleepy that guy looks. So cute. Okay. Let me just sketch and feel it out. Because I can't see the rest of his body. Though I probably could find other reference pictures of full body Been Too Wrongs. I just wanted to work with this one because I really like his peaceful face in this sketch. I think the angle of this could be better. Like cutting across the canvas like this, perhaps. Just roughly sketch in the scale of everything. This is already not enough space for his body. I can feel it. There's his muzzle, ear, back. Yeah, I'm gonna need more room. That's okay. Let's start from here. That's what sketches are all about. I like how tiny his paw looks compared to how like big his arm is. I think that's really cute. It's very sweet. That. Though, what's his other arm doing? It almost looks like it's like tucked in under his chin or something. Now I'm going to Google another Been Too Wrong. Let's see. Been Too Wrong sleeping on tree. Oh, there's so many pictures of them sleeping like that. He's so cute. It looks like they kind of just let their paws hang down, which I think is a cuter visual than having it like tucked in. Oh my god, they're so cute. I love looking at these images. Nothing cuter than just like a big sleepy animal. So sweet. I can hear the like the music that plays by the sleeping piranha plants in Mario 64. The little lullaby. I can hear that in my head looking at these guys. So sweet. Okay, that's a better picture. Let me... Oh, and that gives me a visual of the back foot. Oh, his little feeties. That's so cute. 1 second, I gotta sneeze. Oh, stop. Don't sneeze. Okay, I think I'm over it. Okay. I have visual. A second been too wrong on a tree image. Where is the other one? I need visual of all of these guys on my screen. Stat. I'm running like on a CSI show where they pull up like 20 different monitors with people's info on it. I'm doing that with Been Too Wrongs right now. Okay. Get rid of this. The way this arm is. Let me just think about it. Like, relaxing the lines that creates. Little tiny paw. It's like stubby but wide. Like there's a lot of fingers. Toes. And the other one just flops too. Just like completely dead to the world. Sleepy. Okay. We'll flesh that out and make that better. And then on the one I'm looking at, he has kind of both of his back paws up on the tree. It's like there's a foot here, and then there's the other foot. The other beans are tucked in here, which I think is kind of silly, but I like it, so I might work with it. His beans are just out. Alright, his tail is very long, so we're gonna have to shrink him a bit. You know what, we're gonna rotate and then have his tail hang down. Because his tail is very long. And he is short and wide. So we'll move the composition up here. I think. And then we'll have that big, we'll make that tail extra long to make it look really heavy. Like that. Just a little bit curled at the end because he's still kind of awake. Maybe he's fighting off sleep, you know? He's not quite ready for bedtime. He's really fighting it. We want this back extra fuzzy, like that. His nose is very big, like this. Maybe he's very happy to be off in dreamland, like this. Little closed eyes. I want him looking very peaceful. He's got one ear up because maybe he's just about to fall asleep. A little bit of fuzz here. He's very fuzzy. So we want fuzz everywhere. Fuzzy ears. And he's got like these hairs over here too, sticking out. At least this guy does, the one I'm looking at. Very wide cheeks. Bean says, fun fact, they smell like popcorn. I that's what I thought. I think I said that at the beginning of the stream. I was like, are these the guys that smell like popcorn? She's right. She knows all the fun animal facts. They're big, cuddly guys that smell like popcorn. They're so cute. The one I'm looking at, the back leg is like, it's kind of hard to tell because it's all like just fluff and fuzz, but there's a little bit of like a thigh here, or not a thigh, like a knee here, and then his little chubby foot is like right here. There's the underside. There's one claw, two claw. We're gonna simplify it, but like there's one foot here, and then the other little foot, his other little set of beans is like right here. But maybe I just have the one. And then the other one's like hidden, tucked away. I kind of like that better. Maybe I do want the other beans. Alright, let's see if I can find one more picture of the back legs of a Binturong sleeping, because there's quite a few pictures of these guys sleeping on trees, and they're all very good. Well, that one, his legs kind of like stretched out behind him. Oh, this one, all the legs are just flopped. I like that. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, hold on. Y'all need to see this. You're not gonna believe this. How cute. I'm gonna flip it though so I can use it. This is much better reference than the other one. Tools, flip. Okay, I think that works. Oh, and they do have stripes on their tails, or is that just the sun? At least this one does. This is a really good picture though. Hold on. Hold on. We're gonna get rid of this one because it's not really serving me right now. Let's do... Copy. This is the one. This is our... Look at that. Look at how sweet. I think I will flip it horizontal again because his tail's not that long. That just totally changed the whole thing. I like the face on this one though. I like how smushy and flat and cute that face is, but look at the body language on that. His feet just absolutely dangling. So cute. Okay, we'll bring him over here. I'll open that up on my end closer. He's so cute. Alright, we're gonna make some changes. Alright, we're gonna reduce this, the opacity. It's kind of like a skeleton, but we're gonna build on it. I don't know if I like the flat. Maybe I do like it. Excuse me, I keep hiccuping. How it's just like a flat across, straight across branch. Maybe I do like that. I don't know. I wouldn't make it this perfectly straight, but I'm just seeing how I feel about it as a composition. Because I kind of like how the photo... I don't like how it's right in the dead center of the canvas. No, I think I want a little angle to it. Yeah, the angle helps. Makes it a little more interesting. And then I like the squishy face. We're going to keep this head shape and muzzle and the nose size. We're going to keep that. Tilt it, smush it all up against that branch. And then the fuzziness of his like upper back we're gonna keep. And then I do like the full hang down of the foot here. Short stubby paw. I think we won't give him claws. We'll make him like a teddy bear. It's like a fantasy creature. And we'll do the other paw similarly, hanging down like that. He's just a big cuddly popcorn scented teddy bear. I feel like that's not laying as flat and dangling as the other one. Maybe we copied the shape. Lift it up a little bit. Yeah, that looks a little bit more just completely falling flat. Because he's sleepy, he's out. I don't know if I like them touching, like butted up against each other like that. I feel like they need a little bit of space. So I'm gonna space them out just enough. Okay, I think that's good. I think they'll both face in. I was gonna have this with like the inner paw facing in. Maybe I still will. No, I think I will. Whatever. I'll have to look up what their paws look like. I'm just getting the shape. I don't even know if I'll finish this today, but okay. Paw facing in, paw facing out. And the same on the back. We want him really melting into that tree. So kind of flat. And then his little foot would be a little bit lower on this paw. And his feet are a little bit longer. But I still want to make him a little stumpy, so I might stump it up a little bit. Something like this. And then I like his other beans showing here. It looks kind of like a barefoot. I'm just going to leave it one big paw pad for now and then come back after I look up what their feet look like and how to simplify them. And then his tail starts really thick and wide up at the top. And kind of flops back behind the tree. And then we're going to get rid of that. Up. We'll put him near the top and then have the tail come down to here and curl up, and I want it to kind of point at his face a little bit. We'll do straight down because I want to exaggerate all this stuff. I'm going to make it a little bit more minimal than it currently is. Just getting a feel for this guy. This is a new creature for me to draw. I want lots of fuzz on the back and then leading into the arm fluff here. Like this should all be fluffy. This whole line of stuff should be fluffy. And then a little bit smoother on the back. A little bit of fluff on the butt. And the tail is a little fluffy at the end here. Okay. I think he's looking nice and chunky and fluffy, which is what you want to see. We love it. Alright, where's the other picture of the guy's face that I liked? Where is he? Right here. Oh, he's such a sweetie. I think the key is making sure the face is sweet. Everything else looking good is like a bonus. We're going to shrink a little bit and move him like here. And then merge this down. Make the branch maybe a funkier shape. Like that. Just a little bit of extra something. Erase this. I'm gonna add this nice fluffy, chunky tuft of fur he's got here. He's got some behind this ear too. And he's got crazy whiskers. Give him a pleasant smile. Give him some nice shut eyes. Ooh, I like them straight like that too. That's cute! Oh, I like him. We're gonna give him a nice big nose. Oh, he looks so cozy. Let me move these eyes up just a little bit, like there. So sweet. I'm seeing the vision with him. And this will be black in here. Okay. We'll want a little bit of fluff over here. And then as his face is all smushed on the branch, we'll want it like flat on the branch with a little bit of fluff going out to the left. Because he's firmly planted on that branch. I want to feel the weight of his face on that tree. Maybe that's a little too flat. Round it out a little bit because we want him to look chubby. Maybe we do a little squish under his eye. We'll do a couple Z's just floating off of that. I don't even think you need it. He's dreaming. I do want to move this paw out a little bit further because I want him to look very wide. Like if his other shoulder is back here. Let's see. Yeah, that's not breaking his anatomy too much. And then this I want even wider, I think. And I like that there's like tufts of fur hanging down on the underside, underneath of the other side of his body, and that there's also fluff on top. I think this can be all simplified to just be like tufts of fluffiness, like drawn with the chalk brush like that, or something. I'll figure out a shape for it. I think he's kind of coming together. A lot of this is going to be textures. It's a lot of going to be funky shapes, and then a lot of the work is making him look fluffy and textured, transitioning from like that dark black to like the gray here, and then a bit lighter, because I like that gray tone that the one I'm looking at has. It's very light on his face, gets darker up here. I think a lot of that can be suggested with a brush without getting real detailed, you know? Fluff. We'll make this shape solid though for his head, so it looks like this is all his like back and shoulders and not hair on his head. So I think the stuff coming out of the sides, like here, is his ears, or like behind his ears, attached to his head. But the stuff back here is like his back and shoulders. So we'll do different colors for that, I think, to make that clearer. I think he's fleshing out a bit. Maybe make him thicker and denser, because I want him to look chunky, because he is chunky. He's a big man. I want him to look very huggable. I think that's key. Okay. Then we'll do some kind of tree texture on the tree. I'm not too worried about the tree. And I think for background, I'd like to do some kind of, I don't know, some kind of shape of foliage down here and a little bit up here. And then the rest is just sky. It'll be faded like the background of the photos where it's just like green and then little bits of light pouring through just to suggest some kind of trees or something. Trees, bushes, what have you. Almost like he's tucked into one little gap in a tree. We'll make it real minimal. Okay. I think this is good bones, so to speak. Let's get to thinking about the shapes of this man here. Let's pull up that other ref. And I gotta look at what his, what his little feet look like. Let's see. Where's that second Safari window? Where is it? Been too wrong sleeping on tree. Thank you. Okay. Been too wrong foot. Ooh, that's a nice close-up on the feet. Is that the back foot or the front foot, or are they all the same? I guess that works. I'm simplifying anyway, it doesn't need to be, you know. I do want it to be right, but I don't mind if it's like perfect, you know? How do I simplify? Because they have like little wrinkles and things in the foot. Underside. Yeah, that photo's good enough, whatever. Let me open that. No, it's very low res. Why would you do this to me, Google? It's a very small photo. Been too wrong foot pads. Is that the right phrase? Been too wrong paws. Paw pads. Okay, I think that's good. It's a good, like, black and white silhouette. Perfect. Yeah, they have, like... Okay, let me flip. Is this a new layer? Good. Alright. I want to try to simplify this because it's not a solid shape for like the palm, if you will. I don't know what the term for that is. They have 5 little toes. And then there's like 4 more, not toes, but like, I don't know, structures in the palm. I don't know the anatomical terms for anything. But it's not just a solid shape, so I do want to make some note of that, even if it's like highly simplified. Something like that. I think just leaving lines like that even works. I think that's enough detail to show that I did put some thought into this. I think that's good. Yeah, it's got like more fleshy pads on the palm. I guess we do too. We have like, I don't know anything about like foot and hand anatomy of animals, so something like that. And then similarly, the foot has that too. It looks almost like extra toes. I don't know. Okay, we'll have 4. The 5th one's like hidden behind this other foot, but that's okay. Have another little pad here. Pad here. And then this is like one big shape here. And break it up with the eraser like so. Okay, I think this has shown that I've like looked at a Been Too Wrong foot and didn't just rush and make it like one big shape. I think that's enough detail. Okay, I might even like paint over a little bit of this to make it a little bit fuzzier. These breaks, I don't want it to be super clean, but I want there to be some visible separation. I think that's good. Okay, minimize that. Where on earth did that picture go? Okay, bring me back the sleepy Been Too Wrong. Oh, he's so cute. His whiskers are going to be fun to do because they're kind of huge and all over the place and very bright white. Make sure the shape of his nose is kind of right. I think I'm just going to make it solid. I'm not going to make the nostrils like accurate or anything. Maybe I'll make the split in the middle, but I don't want to add the nostrils. I think that's too much detail. For now, we'll just make it solid black. I don't want it to be a perfect shape, but I do want it to resemble the shape. So something like this I think works. It's okay if it's a little bit wider. I do want to exaggerate how wide and chubby his face is. So I think it's okay like this. There we go. Happy little smile. Oh, what a sweetie. What an absolute sweetie. He's happy in dreamland. Right, there's the inside of the ear on this side. I think I'm doing the details first and not the shapes. Probably not a great idea, but I'm rocking with it, you know? Just doing what feels right. There we go. Let's do a funky color for the shape of his head. I kind of want the head to be very simple shaped. Fluffy. This little chinny chin chin right there. Alright, fill him in. What a sweetie pie. Where did that tab go? Where did my other tab go? Okay, minimize that. Okay, delete the foot tab. Okay. I think I'll get all the shapes of this guy nailed in, and then I'll finish him next week. I'll have to do a bit more homework on what color everything on a Binturong is and the tail and all that. But I like where he's headed generally. I'm feeling it. I might make him gray before I leave so I have something for the thumbnail for next week. See, I'm trying to make the thumbnails not just the Bear Burger image every week. I am trying a little bit more with my streams. Not a ton, but okay, let's do a layer underneath. Let's do a different color. The fuzz and stuff here, I'll do later. I want to get the body shapes in first, I think. That'll be detail work for next week. Want it to be fluffy, fuzzy. I like the shape of that. I like the way that curves. So we're gonna stick to that. His cute little face, he looks like a bear lemur hybrid. Him as, well, I don't know exactly what he is. A civet, if I'm saying that right. Is that the same? Is that the fan? I don't know anything about animals. Bring the animal experts back in the stream. We need you. Bean probably knows more about this guy than I do, to be honest. All I know about him is that he smells like popcorn and that he's very cute and I like him. Those are my fun facts. He just looks so at peace. I am really liking drawing with this chalk brush. I think it's really adding a little something. Because it is still like minimal clean shapes, but it just adds so much warmth, I think. I'm really digging it. I kind of want to do the arm on its own layer so I can add that texture into the back and stuff, the shoulders. I think I'll do that. But I'll do the belly, fuzzy, and then blend it in so it's a little bit more solid as it gets further into the belly. She's busy. She's always busy. But she probably knows more about binturongs than I do, I bet. I bet she's got more fun facts. It's not easy being the world's leading dinosaur and animal expert. It's a busy life. It's a binturong, it's an animal that smells like popcorn, and that's all I know too, yeah. Why is that the only fact anybody knows about a binturong, is that it smells like popcorn? I kind of like adding the fur texture in this way, and I might be able to paint another layer underneath it to add a second color. Like the undercoat. I'm gonna roll with that. I really like the depth this brush adds to stuff, even with just one color. And it feels kind of like using a dry paintbrush, or like somewhat dried out paintbrush. That's how it feels to move it across the canvas here. I'm digging it. Though I feel like I should have planned for, you know, the fur to move a different direction. If I bring it down like this, I think if it gets a little more solid here, and then blends down here. I think that works. I think it'll look better with like a few shades of gray too, and like white details on top. Or light gray, rather. Okay, we're gonna leave it, maybe not like this. I want to cover up some of these spots. Make this more solid up here, then do a second layer of fluff. But I like it kind of fading into these somewhat empty spots here. Let some of that gray peek through. I think that looks kind of cool. It looks a little bit like paint, you know. Whiskers are cool. I think I'm going to sketch them on here in a second. Let's do the big paw up front. Just use another crazy color just so I can see. I will change these all in a bit. I think this stuff, you know, I'll sketch it in quickly and maybe I'll come back and refine it. But for now we're just going to leave it kind of crazy like so. I think. Is this chalk too? Okay. And this fluffiness. All this goodness is for this big paw here. This big old arm. Chunky, stumpy paw here. I think that looks good. And then we want some fluff under the head too, because he's fluffy. I think that looks okay for the shape to start. Though I do want like almost cascading fur, because he's fluffy. He a fluffy boy. And then underneath, let's do blue. Doesn't matter, we're going to change the color in a minute anyway. Fluff and fuzz. And same over here. Okay, I think those are the major shapes. I do want a little bit more. Did I alpha lock that? No, okay. Why is it not letting me paint? Oh, because I have like the world's smallest brush, okay. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna have to clean up this back fluff shape, I think. Like, I kind of like how messy it is, but it's like too messy. It's not as legible. And then I do one more layer on top, just underneath the ears, that's like this funny like old man ear hair that he's got like on the sides. I'm gonna have to fix this shape too, but I just want it in place for now. He's just a sleepy old guy. Sleepy, hairy old guy. What a cutie. Alright, then we'll do whiskers. A new layer. What brush? I think dry ink 1 will be good. It's kind of smooth. Where's the close-up of the whiskers I had open just a second ago? Yeah, like this. Alright, zoom in. I like how some of them are kind of way up, way down. Alright, let me, real quick, change the color of his head to like a mid-tone gray so I can see the white whiskers a little bit better. I'll just make it like this for right now. And I get that dry ink brush, like so. Walks flat-footed like a bear, but can rotate its feet 180 degrees to walk headfirst down trees. Ooh, they're pretty cool then. He's kind of got a nose like a koala bear right now. I might need to fix that, but I need to define his muzzle. Maybe I should do that right now, actually, so I can fit his whiskers in a little bit better. Where they should go. Let me figure out his muzzle shape. And it is a bit cartoony and exaggerated. I might have to bring his smile in just a little bit. Actually, I want this to clip to this so it doesn't go outside the chin here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring in his smile just a tad, because I'm already exaggerating the width of the muzzle just to make it cute, but this is all stuff to clean up and fix and tweak next week anyway, but getting a good start on him. You wouldn't think a big bulky guy like this would be a good climber, but it's cool that they have built-in tools to help them being able to rotate their feet like that. Because they just look very dense. Like, they look like they'd weigh down the tree branch a little bit. They don't look like they'd be very elegant, but animals are surprising like that. Okay, that's a little bit better. Whiskers. Oh, let's make the muzzle gray too. Maybe a bit lighter. A little bit darker. Okay, cool. Now whiskers. I'm gonna roughly sketch them in with a different color and then clean them up on top, unless they look really good, in which case I can just make them white. Let me just flick. There's one up here. I'm just going kind of crazy with them. I don't want them all going the same direction. Maybe one down here, and then some short little ones like this. And we'll do the same on the other side. A couple short little ones, and a couple long, crazy ones. I think that looks cute, actually. I'm happy with his whiskers like that. I'm just going to erase the ends that are like overlapping with his mouth or anything, but I think that looks otherwise pretty good. Maybe a couple extra old man ones here. So I like that he looks like a sleepy old guy. Oh, he's so cute. Okay. Let's make them white. These whiskers. Oh, he's looking so cute already. And we're just getting started. Let's do... I don't want it to be black. So I think I'll use shades of like blue-green. Like this. And we'll do like a black that's actually just a very dark blue-green. And we'll use that as our black, I think. We'll change the background color. It'll look darker in a minute here too. And this color even darker. A little bit more blue. Might have to change that, but it's better than using pure black, I think. Lots of cleanup work to do next week, but that's alright. I think the bones are good. What did I do here? Oh, I think I added a stray whisker over here. Oops, gone. And then what's going on here? Did I just not draw behind the head here? Is this yellow? What is this? Oh, I just didn't fill that in with that color. Okay. Well, let's fix that. There we go. Ooh, he's coming together already. Look at how snuggly he looks. I'm gonna fill in this gap a little bit here. Some of these gaps are a little bit too messy for my liking. I'm really liking the shape and feel of him in general so far. Let's do... Let me just sketch in the tree shape here. I'm gonna have to erase some stuff to make it all fit. You want to pet his face. I know, he looks so sweet. I want to feed him popcorn. I don't know if that's healthy for him, though. I want to feed him whatever Binturongs eat. But isn't he precious? And we'll take the tail layer, we'll mask, we'll lower the opacity so I can see what I'm doing, and we'll use the mask to erase the excess. The extra stuff we don't need. Okay, I think that works. And see how it's semi-transparent? I might have to do another layer of paint underneath that leg. Yeah, alright, let me just do that. Underneath this leg, let's do another layer of paint. We'll just do it blue right now so I can see it, and then we'll change it to like dark gray or something. But I like that a little bit of it peeks through. I think that's an interesting effect. It does make him look a little bit older and grayer if I make this like lighter gray. And then on top is like darker gray. I think that's kind of cool. It's an interesting way to do fur. I might have to paint a little bit more on top actually, but for now let's alpha lock that and we'll make that just, let's try slightly darker, like the undercoat or something. Maybe a little bit darker. Little bit darker. You can't hardly see the difference. Maybe we'll go lighter then, so you can see the difference. Ooh, I like that better. Okay. Let me see if that's visible on your guys' end, because I know the colors are a little bit different. Okay. Let's get the visual on him too. Let's move the reference smaller and over here. I didn't realize you guys couldn't see most of the look at, oh. I really like how he's coming together already. I think he's very huggable so far. Do another layer underneath the big arm for a little bit of something peeking through. And we'll alpha lock that and make that a little bit lighter. And for now, let's lighten up this background a bit, shall we? Make it a little bit more blue. Oh, that makes it look extra sleepy if it's blue-gray. I do like the idea that he's sleeping in the middle of the daytime, though, because he just has nothing to do and nowhere to be. I kind of like this grayish. Like, it's sunny out, but it's not like, whoa, like, that's crazy. So we'll just make it more muted. It's a nice sunny day. A little bit of green. We could see enough. Okay, because I felt like it was like this. I'm like, that's not fun. You want to see his face. Okay, I kind of like that greenish. Maybe it'll look different with the tree, a different color. So let's get the tree. I know, he looks so comfy cozy. Maybe I just do more green. We'll do like brown green, you know. We'll do some different shades of green. Get some brown in there. Get some like mossy green. What on earth is happening here? Where there's like this line underneath him? Okay, let's un-alpha lock and let's fix that, I think. Next, can you draw mine, Edamame, and Floras from your my singing monsters next to each other, putting their hands behind their necks like they're friends, but they never are on the same island. I can add that to the request list. I'm going to stream for just a little bit longer, but I definitely won't have time to start a new thing, but I will add your request to my request list, and if it comes up on the random request wheel spin, I might draw it. Let me type that in right now. Edamame and Floras, my singing monsters, and then a dash so I know it's part of the same request. Hands behind necks like they're friends. Okay, it's added to the list. I can't promise it this stream or the next, but it is on the list of requests. So maybe it'll pop up one of these days. Sometimes people get lucky and a couple of theirs pop up. Alright, and let's fix this tail here. I want to know what's going on with this. Like, what is causing this line here? That's making me a little crazy. Maybe I just need to edit the tree layer. And also sometimes if people pop in at the very start of the stream and they request, I'm just like, you know what, you're one of like 3 people watching, maybe I'll just do your request. But just because it's so late in the stream, I'm not likely to start a new thing, because I only stream for like 2 hours. But thank you for popping in and requesting. I appreciate you. Also, is that a ferret? It's a Binturong, which is kind of a weird animal, but Someone requested it. This was one that was requested at the top of the stream. And I googled and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to draw him. So sometimes I do just take a request from the top of the stream. And the ones I don't, I add to the list for later when I don't have a request I feel like doing off the top of my head or from the top of the stream. And I'll pull up the request wheel, if you will. Request list. Where is this layer? Okay. Let's fix this. Let's flesh this out a little bit here. That's a new animal I learned today. I learned, let me show you the one I did the other week. I learned a new animal the other week, too. Hold on, I'm gonna fix this real quick. There's an animal I drew like 2 weeks ago on stream, or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember how long. Requested by the same person who requested the Binturong, called a Kako Missile. And that's what this guy looks like. The Kako Missile. So this was a new one to me. I'd never heard of him before, but he's pretty cute. There's all sorts of creatures I had no idea about, and I thought I knew all sorts of animals from watching, like, nature documentaries and stuff growing up, but there's a whole world of animals I have no idea about, and they're very cute. So I'm delighted to learn about them. Alright, I think the basic shapes of him are okay. I'm just doing cleanup now, and I need to do, like, the separation on his little toes there, on this foot. And the other one? Looks like a jerboa with a dog-looking head with a raccoon tail. I know, it looks like a mix of like 3 or 4 different animals, doesn't it? They look like hybrid animals, which is a thing I've also drawn on stream. I did like a few streams where people would like say like mix a turtle with a ferret or whatever, like whatever their requests were. And I would just do stuff like that. That was pretty fun too. Or animal and foods, like mix a cheetah and a donut, or I don't know, whatever. Animal and food mixes. Oh, I forgot to do this like tuft of fur on the underside. There's like fur hanging on the underside of the tree too, so let me do that, I guess above the foot, and I'll make that like almost black, like really dark. Let's do that. Just like a little bit of fluff here. I think I can get rid of the sketch layer for the Binturong himself. I'll have to work on like the trees and things like that. Maybe I'll sketch that in really quick. Underneath all this, your favorite animals are aardvarks, chickens, elephants, and snakes. Those are excellent picks. I really like aardvarks too. My room, when I'm not streaming, I don't know if you can see, but how warm the lighting is behind me. My room is always like deep orange or deep red lighting because I have those color changing lights that you can control. And it always makes me think of when I go to see the aardvarks at the zoo and they're in that like red lighting, like cuddled up all sleeping. It's like I have room lighting like an aardvark because it's very cozy to me. I'm just going to leave this very like just a blob of green for right now. This is something I'm going to work on next week, I think. I'm just going to leave this messy and green and come back to this and make it look a bit more like tree leaves or something green. But I just want to get the sketch layer deleted, really. So I'm just going to leave this like a beautiful mess here. We'll come back to it. Let me hide the sketch layer. Aardvarks are very funny. They're so cute. They're really good animals. I miss when Arthur the Aardvark from the book actually looked like an aardvark from like, I think it was only the first book in the series where he actually looked like an aardvark. And then he just became a flat-faced cartoon character for the TV show. My sister had a toy, Arthur the Aardvark, and you would squeeze him and he would say one of 2 catchphrases, which was just, "Do you have a pet?" and "Let's read." And that's all he would say. It wasn't the greatest catchphrases, I'll admit that, but it was a cute toy. "Do you have a pet? Let's read." I'm sure you remember that, Katie, if you're watching. Got 5 toes here. Got... There we go. Disturbing as his aardvark. I thought he was kind of cute, but I kind of like an art style that's like borderline ugly like that. I find it kind of endearing, but I could see why. I could see why people wouldn't think he was cute. I'm kind of into that design, but... And it probably was very difficult to animate, so they were probably like, listen, we gotta do something with Arthur. We gotta fix him. There's no way we're animating this nose every episode. So I understand why they redesigned him. But if he has one fan, it's me. OG Arthur has one fan, and it's me. Maybe I'll draw him one day, in my style. Just for funsies. Do you have a pet? Let's read. You still have him, but his glasses are missing and he sounds possessed now? Aw. There's gotta be a way to fix him. What happened to his glasses? Sounds disturbing and funny. I didn't know you still had him. That's kind of fun. Do you have a pet? Let's read. Okay, alright. I do want to add more like of a gradient where it's like almost darker toward the shoulders and then a bit lighter towards the back of him. Even though I think he's just a very dark, like his fur is very dark. I'm just trying to add color variation to that because I don't want it to just be all gray, all black. So let me scheme on how I can fix that. I think it's okay if the back legs are kind of almost one note and dark. Because it kind of pushes them back visually. I think that's okay. Make the fur go in the right direction though. I think that's okay if they're very dark, but I do want to lighten up or add some color or something to the other shades. Let me figure that out a bit. Now all this stuff behind his head and inside like his ears, I think I'm going to have to think about another time. Because I am getting a little hungry, so let's alpha lock this. Alright, let me fade this out, make it a little bit grayer, bluer, I don't know. Maybe this is the lightest shade here. Ooh, I kind of like how the big stripes of the chalk brush look for fur. I think that adds enough texture to like read as fur. Maybe not going all in that direction, but I like that. Let's undo that, but then try to make it go in the right direction. I do like that though, so let's just drag that in here. Nailed it. Let's see. His vision is fuzzy now. He doesn't have his glasses. I think I took them off to put on other animals. He's in my china cabinet by the dining table. Have you heard of My Singing Monsters? I have. I've seen like on TikToks people showing the different sounds they make, and it looks pretty cute. I've never played it myself, but it does look cute. You really like Tiawa. She sounds like that one Hole Dwelling song in The Continent on her second part. I'm not familiar, but I'm sure it's cute. Every time I see like the TikTok showing the different sounds the different guys make, I think it's pretty cute. I see the appeal. I'm also probably older than anybody that would play My Singing Monsters, but I don't know. I'm 36. I know I look very youthful, but I'm closer to 40 than 30. I'm not always hip with whatever younger people are playing, but I try to stay in the loop. Like I drew that FNAF Security Breach Wet Floor bot last week, or I finished it today actually. Right here, this guy. So like I'm hip and cool, and I know things about FNAF now. I don't, but I'll pretend to. But that was a request from the list that I randomly spun. I just like to draw a cute cartoon. I've drawn all kinds of stuff I've like never seen. Vita Vet and like all these like kid shows and stuff that I don't watch. It's kind of cute to draw that stuff. Fill that in a little bit. I think he's coming together. It's just trying to figure out how to add some other colors or textures or something in. Though I think it's coming along. I do like this texture a lot for the fur, this chalk. I think it really works for fur without putting too much rendering into it and making it too realistic. I think he looks cute. I could add like a color layer on top where it like adds a little bit of variation too. I'm not sure how I'll go about that. Her second track is a very mysterious vibe. Earth Island from My Singing Monsters was actually composed in 1991, but the game was released in 2012. The developer of My Singing Monsters says Earth Island was composed in 1991 for a musical. That's interesting. I'm glad he never gave up on, I'm glad they never gave up on their dream to develop that music into something cool for people that they love. And it seems like My Singing Monsters is really popular, so that's pretty cool. You know what, I might let him sleep here for the night. I'm going to add a little bit of texture to the face and the muzzle. And then I think I'm going to put a pin in this for the night because I think I've made good progress. But I don't want to overwork it, and I want to come back to it with fresh eyes next stream, I think. Work on him a little bit, and then work on some new ideas, requests, things like that. Just going to add a little bit of texture in here. Let me actually just add in a few colors with, or tones of gray with Nico Roll real quick. I just want to figure out what shades of gray to fade to. Maybe I make it the sky color, like hitting the top of his head, and then it fades into the gray here, and then a little bit more bluish gray down at the bottom, something like that. Then I'll put a shadow on the tree. It'll be a little bit darker underneath his head, like that. Under his belly, like under his back leg. Okay, I think this is a good start. Aside from the background leaves, which are like, whatever. They're a mess. We'll figure out something to do with the background next week, but tail appears to have rings. You're right. Yeah, in the photo I'm looking at. Maybe I do a clipping mask real quick just to remind myself so I don't forget that it's got rings. Let me do that really quick. Clipping mask. Let's do just a slightly lighter shade. And just really quick sketch in rings so I don't forget. I'll fix these up and make them more textured and fluffy like I did with the Kako missile, but just so I don't forget that there's rings that I need to think about next time. Let me stick him right here so y'all can see the progress. I think it's pretty good progress for like less than an hour of work. Sleep, little bear cat. Let's see, My Singing Monsters skyrocketed in popularity in 2023. Your whole feed on YouTube Shorts was just ranking all Mammoth or ranking all Furcorn, and it ranked monsters from My Singing Monsters, and that's what inspired me to play the game. You're level 30 in it. It sounds cool. I like the concept of it a lot. I think it's a really cool idea for a game. And I hope to draw some of the My Singing Monsters soon. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I will come back next week this time, same place, to work on this Been Too Wrong a little bit, take some requests, and hang out and chill with you guys. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all next week. Peace!